Celebrity Catwalk. Thank you very much for catching us on Manhattan Neighborhood Network. And if you're watching us on YouTube, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button so that you will not miss a single solitary episode. So we are here today with James and Jim from You Fix the Twist. Did I get that right?
Perfect.
There we go. Say that 10 times fast.
Yes, yes.
And millions of Americans suffer from back issues. I'm sure many of you watching have an ache, a pain. I've already been asked if this helps sciatica from one of our crew members, so I know we're going to get into all that. But I was also, in doing my reading and prepping for you guys today, I see that 2/3 of people with back issues will have recurring issues that come back to them, according to many studies that I read. So it seems to be a persistent problem. So please tell us, James and Jim, how this got started, what birthed this baby, and what brought you to us today.
Well, since I'm the inventor, I'll talk about how it got started. The first thing is it got started because what I noticed on my patients is the tissues and muscles were getting tighter. And within an office visit, there wasn't enough time for me to fix some of these tissues. So what I did is I used the movement of their body, and we tested the movement by actually using the roll. We used that, and what I did is I came up with a tool that could be used vertically on a door jamb. And so we used that so that the person's not lying down on the ground and not rolling on a ball or anything like that, that they can use this on the door jamb and target the tissues that aren't moving correctly. So we can, so that we can go after both structure, muscle, fascia, all at one time. And in many times we can actually mobilize the joint. We use the roll to actually stress or test the area that we need to actually find that's moving or not moving. Once we find that, we use that over on the door jamb, and we take the U-Fix and we apply that to the tissues that aren't moving. Once we do the door jamb, we come back and we test it with the roll. So what we were thinking is most of the time today is we're going to test a lot of tissues so we can see who's moving, who's not moving.
Yes.
And then come over onto the door jamb and do some treatment.
Excellent, excellent,
James, anything?
excellent.
Yes.
Wonderful. James, how did you come to be a part of this?
Right, so obviously...
I don't know if Jennifer knows, he's my son.
Oh,
Yep.
no, I didn't know that. Okay, so this is a family business.
Exactly.
Yep, father-son
Nice.
team here, a little
Nice.
duo going on. So
Nice.
I grew up around my dad my whole life, obviously, and kind of saw everything that he went through in terms of building his own practice, building his own business, and this is kind of where we're at today, and I'm actually finishing up physical therapy school. I got another 2 months left.
Excellent,
And,
congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. Once we're through that, then we'll be really kicking this off.
Excellent. So, Jim, for those that don't know, and let me clarify, you are a chiropractor.
I'm a chiropractor, correct.
Got you. Fantastic.
So the combination is pretty nice, you know,
Yes.
from the standpoint of physical therapy and chiropractic together.
Yes, yes, yes. And it's funny, I see on YouTube, I see these incredible videos, I'm sure you've stumbled across them, of people who are literally limping into their chiropractor's office, or they're hunched, or they have a problem, and within a few adjustments or a few sessions, their lives have completely changed through sessions and chiropractic. I'm not a doctor, so please don't tell me that I am, but I just have watched and seen, and I'm sure you've seen as well, that chiropractic sessions and adjustments have really helped people tremendously.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we'll move over here. So please tell me what we're going to do.
Yeah, we'd like to do first is we're going to use James as the model for me
Yes.
for the first couple moves.
Absolutely.
And then we'll move on and we'll treat Dina and take her
Excellent.
through a
Yes,
couple.
yes, yes. We have another wonderful
Yes.
person. Dina is going to come out in a little while.
So what we're going to do first is we're going to test his upper part of his body.
Okay.
So he's going to lie back onto the roll,
Okay.
and he's going to put it towards the upper part of his body.
Okay.
And I'll tell you what muscles we're going to test or what area we're going to test it at. When we come over to the door jamb, he'll be able to treat that.
Excellent.
He's going to put his right foot on his knee, and this is called neck flexion with a twist.
Okay.
And all these videos, everything that we're going to do today, are on our website. They're all videoed.
Tell us the video, the website again to see the
Ufixthetwist.com.
youfixthetwist.com, where you can see the videos, you can make sure that you're kind of
Doing
getting
it
a
correct.
tutorial and doing it correctly, and kind of gives you a frame by frame, if you will, tutorial to make sure what you're doing is correct.
That's right.
Okay.
Both the long, we call this the long lever. Both the long lever and the short lever, the UFix is called the short lever. All those videos are on the website.
Excellent. Okay.
So we're going to take his right hand, we're going to take his two hands, intertwine the fingers, and bring them behind the head. We're going to bring the elbows tight to the side of the body, and then he's going to bring his forehead as far forward as he can bring it. In this position here, he's going to drop his left elbow into the center. Good. And the left elbow points at that right knee. This way you know exactly what position you need to be in. Now he's going to take his two hands and he's going to move his head to the left. With that, we're testing and he's feeling the right side of his neck. Okay, the most important thing that we can do when we do these movements is for you to compare your right side to your left side. You tell me which side is tight. I kind of know what side is always going to be tight, but you can tell me what side you think is tight. Okay, then put his leg back down.
For women, I think it's the side that we carry our handbag on, or our purse, or our pocketbook.
It very well could be. Yeah. And then he's going to put his leg on the knee again. This time it's his left leg on his right knee. Bring the elbows together, and he's going to drop his right elbow into the center so it points towards that left knee. Then he's going to take his two hands and he's going to pull his head to the right. So now he feels his restriction or the movement on the left side. He's making a comparison of that. We're not looking right now as whether he's feeling a pain or not. We want to see where he feels the motion moving. So now he's going to come back up, and he's going to come over to the UFix.
Do you have to have the roll to do this?
Yes, and the reason why is it puts a better leverage emphasis on the tissues that we're going after.
Gotcha.
If we did it flat on the ground or flat on the table, you would feel it, but it's harder.
Okay.
So the treatment's better with the roll.
Okay. Gotcha.
And then we're going to come over to the door jam.
Okay.
And what we're going to do is he's going to place that, since he kind of knows where the restriction was, he's going to place that at about the height of where that muscle was.
Yes.
So he's going to put that in that position.
So you've got your UFix the Twist at home now.
That's right, you've got it.
I have attached it to the frame of my door.
Yep.
And now I'm going to be able to do this in the privacy of my own home.
Yeah, James, can you just show one more time how you attach that to the door? Take that off.
Yeah, so there's these little hooks right here, and this is the trim right here on your door. You got two different channels, a wide channel, a narrow channel. Some doors are a little older than others, so they have a wider jam, so you could use that wider channel. You could use the narrow channel. But you can just figure it out, put it right there on the door, move it up and down, and then click those straps right on the side, and that's what you have to do. It's as easy it is to set up right there.
Excellent. Easy setup. That took less than, I don't know, 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you notice how small it is. You can throw it in your bag, go on vacation, use it
There
in a
you
hotel.
go. Take it
whatever.
with you to a hotel,
Really
the
relax.
in-laws, wherever you're going to be. Okay.
So in this position here, he's going to flex his neck forward. So from that position, we're going to mimic the movement that he did down here that did not move. So first we go forward, and then he's going to come back. And now when he goes down, he's going to go forward, and he's going to turn his head. So he's stretching that muscle in the same position that he had it when it was on the table. So we're going to make a couple more passes. I want him to drop his pelvis a little bit more so he gets a little higher. Just bend his knees. So this way you don't even have to move the UFix for many of the moves. What will happen is you just bend your knees to accommodate to where the UFix is still positioned. So you can go lower. So I like to start lower with the UFix and then just bend my knees so I don't have to move it as much.
Yes, yes,
Nice.
yes. Nice.
In that
Okay.
position, so now he's going to do it, and then he's going to turn his head. He's going to turn that chin to the right. And so now he's not only stretching that muscle, but he's also, if there's any restriction in the joint, he's mobilizing that joint. Not manipulating the joint, he's mobilizing the joint. And then he comes back to the neutral position. Good. And then he's going to come back over, and he's going to test that muscle that was tight. Remember, he did his right
Yes.
side because he found the right side tighter than the left side.
Yes.
When he did this move here on the roll.
Yes,
So now he's going to cross that leg over.
yes.
Okay, we're going to do both sides just so we can compare them to both of them.
Absolutely,
He's going to bring his head
absolutely.
forward, and then he's going to drop that left elbow in. See, I don't memorize it either. I just look at the elbow and the knee. And then he's going to take his two hands and he's going to pull his head to the left. So again, he's feeling the muscles on the right side of the neck and the upper back.
Can you say what back issues this, is it a pulled muscle or is it how do I know that I need this?
Yeah, so what happens if you didn't have the roll? How would you know? Well, it's probably one of the most common areas that people complain of. You know, they got that, somebody comes up and they want a massage on the back of the head or the upper shoulders or something like that, they come behind you. So it does seem like this is an area that gets affected by stress. So it's very seldom that we find anybody that does not have tight one side more than the other. But a restriction in your range of motion, turning your head left or right, looking up towards the ceiling. But sometimes that's a later phase. In other words, this might be there, tightness might be there right from the beginning. In other words, you might come home every day and this might be there from just working all day.
Gotcha.
So we're going to have him again pull the elbows together, good, and then he's going to pull his head to the left, and he's going to test and see, is that, if he had any tightness or discomfort, and in your case what you're saying is if there's any pain, it's gone. And then he would come back, switch to the other side to test it, elbows together again, good, head forward. And now he's going to drop the left elbow in, and he's going to move both hands to the right, so that now he feels it on the left. So if he was actually had any tightness and he went there, he would see the difference in it.
Yes.
And it does record in your mind as a change in pain, because when you stretch that, that might hurt.
Yes.
But it might not hurt until you stretch it. So to answer your
Gotcha.
question, how would you know?
Right.
You might not know it until you stretched it, that one side is tighter than the other. And we want to make sure that you get ahead of this so that you create a maintenance program in your own life with this. That's another thing that we try to teach with the
So
UFix.
this could also be for preventative. You don't have to
Absolutely.
wait until you have a back issue to get a UFix the twist.
That's right.
You believe in preventative
That's right.
care, if you will, as opposed to post waiting until the issue has happened and now I have to fix it.
Correct. That's
Yeah,
it.
it's almost counterintuitive to what he does Monday through Friday for his practice, but essentially, you know, if you think about the rise in healthcare or the cost of healthcare, we're basically going after that market. We want to try to help people, you know, prevent injury, prevent you know, major issues that can potentially occur down the road from just wear and tear, normal wear and tear throughout daily life. Like if you're a weekend warrior, if you're working 9 to 5, sitting at a desk 10 hours a day, stress builds up in the body and it's going to come out somewhere down the road. The goal with this entire program, this whole maintenance program, is just all about prevention.
Yes.
We want to keep you out of the waiting room so that you can go out and, you know, live the life you wanna
Enjoy
live.
life,
Exactly.
absolutely.
Enjoy life, right.
Absolutely.
Right.
How long has UFix the Twist been around? When was this baby
It's been around
born?
about 2 years, but
Okay.
mainly for my patients for the last 2 years. We've only put it on the market to, for other people to buy in November, end of November.
Okay.
So
And do you have a patent on it?
I have patent pending, correct.
Patent pending,
Very good.
okay.
Yes.
Excellent.
Great question.
Excellent.
Okay, so we're going to do another move,
Great.
right? And this one is going to be called the arm across.
Okay.
And let's start off by answering your question that you asked before. This particular one, you might have shoulder pain. You
Yes.
might have shoulder, neck.
Yes,
You may
yes,
have
yes.
what some people would call it like a rotator cuff strain. And we want to get this before, you know, it's something that is more serious. So this is the stretch that we actually use to test the muscles. He's going to take his right arm and he's going to sweep it across. And he's going to pin his shoulder down, and then he's going to take his opposite hand and bring it over the head. Now, if you're doing this at home, you want to be about that height. It's a little hard. It's a little hard to get down in that position.
Got you.
He's using this hand, and he's going to stretch the right side of his body right here. And now, if we look at the muscles that he's challenging when he does this, is he's going after the trapezius muscle here. So that's a upper back muscle, neck muscle. He's going after the muscles that are between his shoulder blade, wing bone, right, and his spine, and then he's going after the shoulder. What happens is when somebody does this, where they're tight is where they report it. They usually report one here, or one here. Not all of them, but maybe one out of the 3. So now he's going to come and he's going to switch it to his other side. And the other thing that we're pointing out again is that he takes a barometer of which side is tighter. So remember, we're looking at that. It might be tighter, it might be pain.
Yes.
And so here he's trying to pin his shoulder down, and sometimes you can even see which side is a little bit tighter by when he does this.
Yes.
Okay? And he's taking his head and he's going to try to roll it to the right as much as possible. Good. And if I'm doing that in my office and you're around, I push the shoulder down while he does it, so you really get to
Yes,
see
you're
where the
really getting that
restriction-
deep. Yeah, absolutely,
definitely.
absolutely.
And then he's going to come over and he's going to position that UFix
Okay.
a little lower than he would have had it
Okay,
for the
I'm
neck.
gonna move over here so that everyone can really see this.
And I kind of want to show you. So he's not on the spine. He's right
Right.
off the side of the spine. oh, this spine looks like it's been beat up a little bit. He's right off the side of the spine, and there's a lot of muscles here that control the actual movement of the spine. So the nice thing is we're able to actually get a lot of mobilization of the joints when we do this, as well as stretch the muscle.
Gotcha.
And he's going to find that position here, and bend those knees down just a little bit, James, good, right in here. And in that position, he's going to turn his hips to the left. What that does is it pushes that U-fix against the muscles that he found tight right from the wing bone to the spine. You might be just a little low. I'm going to go a little higher. Yep, right about there. And he's going to turn the hips to the left. Now he feels a good stretch. And by the way, when we do use the U-fix, you determine where the resistance is.
Yes.
So in this position here, he may turn his hips to the right, and I may be wrong. One of those muscle fibers or the fascia that's covering the muscle may actually be holding that muscle in a different direction. So we have him turn the hips right, turn them left. And you can see how well he turns the hips. That really gets a lot of motion out of that spine. If I was doing this, you wouldn't see as much motion.
Yes.
And then back, good. And now we're going to have him move it out to his shoulder, just in case it was his shoulder that bothered him. Remember when he came across and he pinned that shoulder down, he may have felt that on the outside of his shoulder. So we're going to have him come in. He's going to go right up against the outside of that shoulder. Good, we're going to, right in there, good. And in that position, he's also going to use his hips to turn, if you look, because we don't move the U-fix. The U-fix is a stationary object. So as he turns his hips, it will stretch the tissue one way or the other. He can also use his arm to move it across. Again, these videos are on the website, so you don't have to memorize them when you see them here.
Okay.
Right? You'll be
Very
able to see them on
good.
your own.
Everyone, you can see these videos at youfixthetwist.com.
Yep, youfixthetwist.com, or you can check out our YouTube channel, subscribe. We'll put up weekly videos. Our weekly videos go over exactly what we're doing here today, our self-assessment process, using the roller, figure out where your body is tight, get up, go over to the U-fix, address those areas of tightness, then get back over on the roller. Did you address those? Yes or no? You'll feel it, and just keep going. All right?
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent.
And so can we move on to one more move with you, James, and then you can do some on Dina?
Of course,
Sure.
yes.
Okay, so we're going to move down to his hips.
Yes,
All right,
yes,
we're going to
yes.
do the hip on the
A
table.
lot of people complain of hip issues.
Well, you had mentioned sciatica, right?
Yes,
And so,
yes. For our sciatica sufferers, listen up. This is for you.
Right. And a lot of times in my practice, the feeling of sciatica down the leg may actually be really what we call sciatica. In other words, it's not really sciatica. These muscles on the side of your body will refer down the side of your leg. The nerve goes all the way down to the back of the leg and all the way to the foot. That's a little bit more serious when the nerve gets involved. But the muscles that we're going to go after now are part of that group of muscles that refer down the side of the leg. Very painful, very discomforting. So we're going to have James face the camera, I guess, and right leg on the table. And he's going to place his heel to the opposite side of his left thigh. In that position here, I'm going to try to hold the table, James, so it doesn't slide on you.
Oh, yes, if you need me
Good.
to. You don't
And
want
he's going to turn his left hip in towards the table, and his right hip is turning away from the table.
That's a great stretch.
What's happening with that is he's stretching the rotators on his right side. So all of these muscles along the right side are being stretched when he does that. What you want to do is at the very end, you can drop your chest forward. But in the beginning, get the turn in the hip first before you actually drop that hip, or drop the chest. And then he's going to test his other side. And again, this is better performed on a little bit higher surface, like a nice elevated bed. Or if you're real flexible like James, you can just bend that back leg. So before he actually drops his chest, he's going to turn his hips. And in this case, he's going to turn the right hip towards the table and the left hip away from the table. So he's making a movement like this. And in that position here, he's going to get as much stretch out of the left muscles here, those rotator muscles in the hip.
Yes.
Then he's going to drop his chest, and that's going to accentuate the entire motion. Okay, so now he's made a mental note of which one felt tighter, and then he's going to come over to the U-fix again.
Yep.
Another thing that I think is so great about this is I know from experience and from family members, many times they are in pain, but they can't really identify the pain. I feel like you're really bringing the onus of identifying what's wrong with you and identifying what's bothering you right to the patient, as opposed to just leaving it in your hands. You're really giving the patient a chance to really try to do some incredible self-help and identify where their problem areas are, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you.
Yeah,
on that.
Yeah.
There's nothing more gratifying to see a patient come in and say that they actually been able to help themselves for something they couldn't do in the past.
Absolutely,
Hence the name
absolutely.
You Fix. You actually are fixing yourself.
Right.
That's our goal.
Exactly.
Is we want to empower people to not have to feel like they're, in debt to these doctors all the time. You
Yes,
know?
I have family
Unfortunately-
members who are in the doctor's office every week, and it's true. I think that it's wonderful that you're putting it back in the hands of the patient.
Exactly. That's our number one goal.
Yeah.
Excellent.
All right, so this.
That one's already set up already. So he's
yeah.
already set up the red U-fix in the position for the muscle that he just tested here.
Gotcha.
He's going to use his 2 hands on the door jamb, or 1 hand, whatever he prefers. He's going to push into the muscle. And he gets kind of boxy, so he's going to squat down a little bit so he gets good control, because the 2 feet are actually pushing pressure in, not only just the hands, especially for the pelvis. These muscles are strong and sometimes very tight. And then he's going to turn his pelvis. In this case, he's turning the pelvis to the left. And it all depends on which side of the muscle. There's 2 sides to the muscle in this case, so he'll move over from one side to the other. One is closer to the spine and the other one is more lateral. And then he's going to turn that pelvis. And back. Good, and again. Good. And then he can kind of move out more laterally so he hits that outside of the muscle, and he's going to turn the opposite way for that. Good. Good. And remember, when you do this, just remember that you're the one testing the resistance. So if you find when you turn one way that there's no resistance, turn the other way and see what happens.
Yes.
Yeah, as the weather gets warmer, people are going to be going out for their long, maybe not even that long, 2-mile runs or whatever, 10 blocks, whatever you can do out there. And they're going to find fairly quickly, if they weren't active over the winter getting into the gym, they're going to find out.
I can raise my hands to that. Yes, yes,
And
yes.
right about this time is when those people start to come out. The resolutioners start to drop out, and then the people that are regulars start to come out of their
Get out of my head,
Yeah.
James, get out of my head.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my goodness, that is me, that is me.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, yes, absolutely.
So he's now coming back, and he's going to test that muscle again.
Yes.
When you get used to doing this, the secondary testing may not be necessary. You may realize that you've fixed it. You've been doing this long enough that just using the U-fix alone was enough. And we do have people that use the U-fix for these without even going back and using what we call the long lever moves to actually test it or even treat it. And so he's doing his turning motion here to find out, has he improved that localized area that's not moving.
Have you
Yeah,
seen a
it does feel
difference
better.
with your patients with this?
It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
Excellent.
it's unbelievable. And there's some, which is good, that I don't see anymore.
It's putting you out of business.
It's supposed to put, it's part of what we're supposed to do. It's like,
Right.
empower you enough that you can do some of this on your own.
Wow.
So yes, to answer that question, we see a lot of patients that are doing this.
Excellent. Excellent. Excellent.
So speaking of runners, I'm going to actually have our friend Dina pop out.
Absolutely. Dina, come on out. Let me get the mic ready for you.
Do a couple demonstrations for the running crowd that's about to come out of their hibernation.
Yes, yes, yes. Dina, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
So tell me, so Dina, you're a runner?
Yes.
How long? How long have you been running?
Probably since I was in middle school. I joined track team, cross country.
Oh, God bless
and
you.
just with all the sports and trying to stay healthy through my 20s. It's been about 20 years.
So are you running in the winter?
I run on the treadmill in the winter, not outside.
Okay, I'm showing how grossly out of shape I am. Is there a big difference between treadmill running and outdoor running?
I notice a difference when I'm running on the treadmill. My hips don't feel like they get the same range of motion, and I do get more stiffness and discomfort after the treadmill running during the winter.
Ah, okay. So you will start up pretty soon. Probably when this episode airs or shortly thereafter, you will be coming out of your hibernation. About when will you start hitting the pavement again?
Probably April. Once the ice is definitely gone, things are dry, no slipping,
Okay.
those kind of conditions.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you. I will let you all get to it.
Absolutely.
Should I take this from you? Okay.
All right, so Dina, why don't you tell us a little bit about, since you are a runner.
So sorry, I grabbed the mic too
no
soon.
worries, no worries. So why don't you tell us a little bit about some of the things you experience that you feel like limits you when you go out for a run, or even when you exercise? Because Dina's a trainer. She tortures people 9 to 5, so that's her thing. She likes to torture herself too. So why don't you tell me or tell us about what you feel is tight on your body?
So when I'm running, I get a lot of cramping in my calves. They get very tight on me.
Okay.
Sometimes I've had arch problems, I think, due to the tightness in the calves. In addition to that, I've had some hip injuries from sprinting and agility work. So then I'll feel tightness in the hips, the quads, and then just the glutes even.
Right.
Kind of everywhere.
Right. And do you feel like, you know, whenever you're trying to get yourself to recover, do you feel like, you know, typically runners run every day, right? So in between that time from day, let's say Tuesday to Wednesday, you feel like that's enough time to recover in between runs when you're, you know, doing 10, 15-mile runs?
I've noticed if I'm doing runs that far, I need about 2 days in between. Maybe I'll do a 10 mile, then a 2 or 3 mile in between just to kind of stay loose, but I can't go consecutively 10, 10, 10,
Yeah.
back to back.
Yeah.
Okay.
So one of the nice things about what we're doing here is it helps people recover faster in between
Yes.
their workouts. The
Understood.
weekend warriors, the people that are doing their you know, their obstacle races, triathletes, all that. This is one of the best things that they can do for themselves. So let's do a couple
Let's get
things.
going because we're running out of time. I'm getting the signal, and I want to make sure we get at least one
Right.
demonstration in.
All right, so Dina mentioned that she has some tightness in her calf. So
Yes.
we're going to get this U-fix down to the height of her calf, which is a very common area for people that run
Yes.
or exercise. So let's get that right up against the door jamb, snap that in nice and easy. All right, so turn around, face that way. We're going to get that right into your calf. You're going to lift your heel up so it's up towards the ceiling. Relax that muscle, put your hands out onto the door jamb there. Good. Now what you're going to do is press your heel towards the ground, but don't let that U-fix slide. All right, so press into that tissue. Good. And you'll feel that pull all the way down to the Achilles tendon, down into the heel. Take a couple deep breaths. Relax. Press your body weight into that U-fix. Good. Come back. Good. And let's switch. Let's do the other leg. Good. Try to get both sides. Press into that U-fix. Calf is a very tight muscle, thick muscle, so it's hard to get in there with like a tennis ball, even a roller. So U-fix is a really good tool to get in there. Take a deep breath. Relax. Try to get that heel down towards the ground. Good. You feel that all the way down? Good. All right. And one more muscle that kind of gets locked up for people with running is obviously the quads, those thigh muscles, right? So we're going to get that U-fix. Easy to move up and down that door jamb. All right. And you're just going to come right up into that U-fix. Good. All right. Now the quad travels from the hip down to the knee and allows us to climb hills, go downstairs, all that fun stuff. So you're going to press your body into that U-fix. Good. And you're going to drive your body up towards the ceiling. Good. Now you're not really seeing this, you're not really seeing what's happening here, but what's happening exactly is that U-fix is pinning the tissue and it's actually lengthening everything from the point of contact down to the insertion in the bone. So lift your chest up a little bit more. Good.
Before we run out of time, I want to remind everyone that you can get your U-Fix the Twist at youfixthetwist.com. That is also the website where you will see all the tutorials, where you can see everything that's been done today and then some. They're adding videos weekly so that we will not, you can stay current, and I'm sure you guys are adding content all the time.
And just one more thing.
Yes, last word.
The last thing is we will have a live streaming class starting in about a month, which will really help you see it almost like we did it here, so that you'll get a little bit more instruction on how to do this.
Excellent. Would love for you guys to come back when the weather gets a little warmer
Sure.
and we can really focus on our outdoor sports and athletes and folks who are really taking advantage of outdoor and how that affects, because I know we didn't get into everything today. That half an hour just flew by.
Yeah, we didn't even get to treat you.
Yeah.
I know, yes, that's right. So I'm next. I am next. I will happily be the guinea pig.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for catching us on Manhattan Neighborhood Network. If you're watching us on YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe so that you will not miss a single episode. Thank you very much. Until next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent.